So, are we ready for winter?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, the challenge of doing your own spiritual journey is living a life of awakened awareness, right? That's one of the things we talk about. Living a life of awakened awareness. And the awareness of the change of seasons is really, really important. I personally found it very, very healing and enlightening because it's good to change because everything changes in form, right? And so to understand the changing of form helps me to understand the way life is working around me and calls to me to go inside, right? Go inside for answers, go inside for direction, go inside for connection, to go inside. This is the season that makes everybody run inside, right? So, and that's what we want in the spiritual journey, right? We want the reminder to go inside. The problem is, most of us aren't so ecstatic about the inside. And I meant that word, because that's what it should be, the inside. A place where I can be ecstatic, to find pure joy. Because that's where we're told the divine resides for us, with us, in our lives, right? I accept the divine into my heart, then where will I find it? In my heart. Don't go searching outside. Right? Try to find it. The winter reminds us of that. And what do I do with that? We talked about Rumi last week, right? And Rumi reminded us that the wound is the place where the light enters in. This season we talk about, on that darkest time, the sun returns. Doesn't return all full power all at once. Because that, again, is the grace of the knowledge of the divine, of who we are and what we can handle. Right? We need it in increments. We need to develop that faith and that opening of our sense. And that comes in that willingness to living a life of awakened awareness. What am I doing? Everything I'm doing affects how I'm going to experience the rest of the day. So what's going on in my head? Is my head filled with thoughts of this darkness? Okay. I can accept that. And where did that come from? That came from thoughts from yesterday. Yesterday's thoughts give me today's experience. Today's thoughts will give me tomorrow's experience. What do I want to have be my experience? How do I want to have it? What do I want it to be like? So this challenge to trust, this challenge to reach, this challenge to look at that one little minute of additional light that day, right? Because that's all that happens. We celebrate, the winter solstice, the sun is going to return, it's going to come back. It starts getting darker and begins to start getting lighter. Not all at once, minute at a time, day at a time, a little bit. We say that it's spiritual work. We say it's a spiritual journey. It's a spiritual process. Recently, I watched a documentary with Raymond Moody. Have you heard of him?
Yes.
Right? Yeah. A psychologist, an MD, philosopher. And he was the big guy that started out all the research about life after death, right? And what happens to people who have near-death experiences, what happens. And he's mostly a researcher. He really has more of a scientific background. That's where he comes from. And he just documents and just talks in this documentary, very matter-of-factly, about people's experiences of having these death experiences. And I've heard this before. I read his book back in the day and all these things. But there was one thing that I never heard before. I thought it was interesting. He said people say they had a life review. We we've heard that life review. What's that great movie that you like, Gerard, that has the life review?
Defending Your Life.
Defending Your Life. Yes, a really fun movie. Yes, right? Defending Your Life, right? You sit there and you watch the movie of your life, right? But what's interesting in that movie, it's not that, that you, and even what Raymond Moody said in that, was that not that their life flashed, just them seeing their lives, but seeing their life through the eyes of others. I thought, wow. How am I affecting? Who am I affecting? And what am I doing? Well, I have this situation going on over here. It's very, very difficult. It's very, very dark. It's very, very hard. But, you're right in front of me. You're over here, and I'm heavy and dark, and they're giving me light. They're giving me, I don't want it. So my life review just tells me from the eyes of other people, what does it say? Stay away. Cut out the light. Leave me alone. Back away. Stay away. I was like, wow. And I said, I gotta pay attention more. Even more. Every day it's about growing. Growing in this awakening is about really paying attention. Of that choice between dark or light, and what I'm going to bring into a situation is very profound and has a larger impact other than just a flippant kind of, that's what I feel, I'm just going to throw my stuff all over the place. Okay? But don't be surprised when it comes back at you. And a lot more intensely. And when they talk about going into the dark, going into this place, it's really, really important. I had these were 3 questions to ask yourself each day that was brought up by Michael Beckwith from the Agape down in California. And he says that if we can live our lives answering these 3 questions for ourselves each day, ask yourself, in this day, how can I grow today? How can I grow today? Now, we're talking about our ancient cultures. They're telling us that the earth is offering us opportunities to grow. Nature's there, calling to us, asking us to connect. Our friend Nancy, every time, I love it, she blesses, the animals that have been hit by cars. Is a nice way to put it, right? And every time she'll do just a little. And I think, how can I grow today? I get a little blessing. Shifts every time. What a difference, one little thing. Picking up things from different people, right? Different things. How did I grow today? Just added an extra blessing. Any little thing, how can I grow today? And keep adding to that each day. It's new, 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 new. This time next year, will you be changed? If little by little you do different things. What about, how can I give? What a great way to get out of ourselves, right? How can I give? Not I don't have and I can't give. How can I give? This is the guaranteed helper, uplifter, get you out of your own stuff solution, if ever there was. How can I give? There is always someone in need of upliftment, of light. Even if you don't have it, knowing, just reaching out with the intent to try to give it to someone who you know is in a place of darkness will be the light that you're looking for. It'll be the healing that you need. That comes from that line, where 2 or more are gathered in my name, there I am. Well, my name is consciousness. My name is connection, right? My name is Christ. So what is that? That's our heart. That's our connection. My heart might be wounded. My heart may be in a dark place, but I'm willing to reach to your heart. And in my reaching to your heart, Christ comes in for both our hearts. What a miracle. What can I give? Always something to give. And then the last thing he asked you to ask him each and every day. You know, sometimes people will say to me, oh, you and gathering, it's like you're always doing something. You know, I look on your feeds, I look on your Facebook page, whatever, that's where we have the most information, or your calendars and your emails, and you're always doing something. There's always something going on there, because this next question, he says, what can I celebrate? Well, we can celebrate everything. Why? But we don't just celebrate it, we live it, we integrate it into our beingness, and we ask it. And we ask in this celebration, how can I be more of what I am as I'm celebrating? Because I am celebrating the divine call of humanity. Somebody around the world is in a place of, this is the most sacred moment for them. You have our indigenous cultures that didn't have all the knowledge that we have, don't know that the earth is revolving around the sun, and don't know that all these insights of science and they're saying, it's going to come back. Faith. Faith beyond knowing. Last week we talked, and Rumi said, work the invisible world at least as hard as you do the visible. And I mean work the invisible world of trust, of faith, of all of these faith traditions that are come. The invisible world that they didn't know the truth of, that the sun didn't even go anywhere, that the earth was just turning. They didn't know. But they worked it. They measured it. They found the exact spot where that sun would be and change, and they went there. And they waited. They built monuments to know so they can always return. Don't forget, it'll come back. Don't forget, it's coming back. Come here, see the miracle. Be reminded. Remember the light. Remember the light turns again. No matter how dark, the light returns again. Go within before you go out. Go within. This season of winter reminds us that in all that we do, go within. Go within to that connection. Go within to that seed and that light. You know, they say that interspirituality is a concept of a contemplative or a mystic. The great mystics of every tradition were open to periods of being ecstatic, of allowing grace to just pour over them and to be with them, to know that it was coming again, to trust in that, to write poetry about that longing. It's interesting, the poem that we have in our Words of Wisdom, This Longest Night, was brought to gathering by our dear Barrett. Right? Barrett always looked for the poetry, always looked for the art. His artful drums and all the different things that he was so fond of making. Right? Where do we find it? How can I grow? What do I celebrate? In art, in poetry, in music, in stories, in fun. In fun. All this work, going into the dark, finding the light, all of that is to live a life of celebration, is to live a life that says yes to life, yes to truth, yes to hope. No matter what. No matter what. So this call this winter season is don't be afraid. Do something different. Add something more to what it is that you are doing. If you meditate in the morning, make it this winter, add at least 10 more minutes to it. That's my challenge for you today. If that's your thing and you meditate, if you don't meditate, try at least meditating a little bit in the morning. Why? Because meditating is being quiet and going where? Inside. Whatever way you want to do it, either do a YouTube guided meditation or just be quiet. 5 minutes. Or take a candle and look at the flame. 5 minutes if you've never done it before. That's a long time if you've never done it before. But I know you did at least something because you're here. But if you're doing it, do it more. Grow. Grow a little bit more this winter. Go in. Find that light. Because I promise you, it is the greatest thing you'll ever experience. Because once you tap it, you'll see it everywhere. And when you have that life revealed, that's what you will see. That namaste, the light in me, greeted the light in you, and saw it always. And so